What's going on, guys? Welcome back to BlackTideTV, bringing you the best of all things gaming each and every day. Today for our Call of Duty Black Ops 3 video, we've got a new set of First Look Reticles. These are the final two thermal multiplayer reticles that you'll find in Call of Duty Black Ops 3. After this, we'll be getting into campaign reticles, starting with the Reflex, then the Recon, Barracks 3, Thermal, etc. And those videos are going to be presented a little bit differently. We're going to do 3 reticles with 2 clips per each reticle in each video. But for now, let's get into this thermal reticle review. These are the final 2 multiplayer thermal reticles. So the first one that you're seeing here is High Score, and this is by far my least favorite thermal reticle in the entire game. Just using it for these gameplays, I've never actually used it before these gameplays. Just using it trying to get these gameplays was ridiculously difficult. This is probably the worst thermal reticle I've ever seen. It's just so hard to aim with. It's impossible because it's so wide. You've got this kind of explosion happening in the middle of your reticle. That's kind of the diagram. It's obviously some kind of like a video game looking idea. It's got like these cannons on the side shooting in, and there's an explosion in the middle, and that explosion is so wide there's not a central dot to it. It's just very, very hard to aim with. It's not actually circular either. If it was a large perfect circle, it would be easier to aim with, but because it's kind of like misshapen, irregular, it's very, very, very hard to aim with. This is the worst reticle in the game probably for practicality, and I would highly recommend that you do not use this. However, if you just wanted to get it unlocked just so you can say you have all of the thermal reticles, you're going to have to get 500 kills while aiming down sights with the thermal, and then you'll be able to get 10 long shot medals with the thermal sight equipped, and you'll unlock the high score reticle. Now 10 long shots is pretty easy to do. Use a sniper rifle, use a assault rifle like the Shiva or the MX Garand, and put a thermal sight on those and go into hardcore and get one-shot kills with them. Very simple to unlock this reticle. 10 long shots. It's gonna be pretty easy on the thermal sight, considering you're usually going to be using the thermal sight for long-range engagements. So it's not that tricky to get this reticle unlocked. But like I said, I definitely would not be using this reticle if I were you, just because it is just a very, very poor reticle to use. Now I like the color scheme. However, it's actually going to be the same color scheme as the Vector Zone reticle, which we're going to be looking at in just a second, with this green and red. There's no other reticle that kind of color in this game, and it's kind of neat how they do that final color for both the High Score and Vector Zone reticles, how everything else is so different, and then you get to these two and they're very similar in the way that they're presented. I think the Vector Zone one is a little bit more clear, and it's definitely a lot easier to use, but as far as color and kind of layout goes for these reticles, they're both very, very similar, which is kind of interesting. I think it's kind of it's cool how they did it that way. I'd like to take a moment and just thank you guys for the subscriber and view support that I've been getting for the last couple of days. I did my live stream of the weekly contracts on Monday, and it was massively successful for some reason. Even though my live stream kept screwing up and kept cutting me off after every 20 minutes, and it was really giving me a lot of pain and hassle, I got a ton of views on those videos, as well as the video where I kind of made a little guide on how to get that part of the weekly contract completed. Those videos did absolutely amazing on my channel. They're still rising like crazy. They're some of the best videos that I've got for views and subscribers per view in the last like couple months. So those are some pretty intense view numbers and subscriber numbers, and I'd just like to thank you guys for that. Thanks to all of the new subscribers that are around here too, and welcome to the channel. Now that we've wasted enough time talking about that, let's get into the Vector Zone reticle. The Vector Zone reticle is definitely a really, really cool reticle. Like I said, same color scheme as High Score, except it's actually usable. I actually think the Vector Zone reticle might be one of the best reticles for thermal sight in this game. I think it's actually pretty amazing. It's very clear, very concise. Even the diagrams and stuff that it puts around the reticle aren't too distracting. I'm not really sure what they're getting at with this Vector Zone thing. It does actually have a score on the top right in that red writing. It says that it's a score, so maybe it's another kind of video game reference or something. I'm not sure. If you guys, mathematicians or gamers out there, or somebody that's seen this before, want to comment down below and tell me where this is from, that would be really cool. But as far as my own knowledge goes, I've never seen this before. I think it's interesting looking, to say the least. But I really like this reticle. I think it's very, very easy to use. It's very clean lines. There's nothing that's going to really get in your way, and the colors are light enough that you can actually see through them if you're in a predicament where you actually need to see through the reticle. So it's very, very easy to use, and it's kind of neat how you actually unlock this reticle, where all of the other reticles in the multiplayer section, the final reticle in the multiplayer section for every other optic is bloodthirsty metals. You don't have to get bloodthirsty metals with the thermal, thank God, because who can actually get a bloodthirsty metal with a thermal sight in this game? Instead, what you have to do to unlock the Vector Zone Reticle is get 25 kills while aiming through smoke while aiming down the sights with the thermal sights. That's kind of cool. It's actually something that the thermal sight is made for, and that's the challenge you have to do to get this Vector Zone Reticle unlocked, and I think that's really cool. So obviously all you have to do is run smoke grenades, chuck them out before you start shooting. Probably best to do that with a sniper rifle or a long-range assault rifle again, but that's how you do it. That's how you unlock the Vector Zone Reticle. I think the Vector Zone Reticle is one of the coolest in the game. Definitely worth equipping if you have it. So those are the last two thermal reticles that we have to review for the multiplayer section. Like I said, the next First Look Reticle episode will be on the reflex for the campaign reticles. I'm excited to get into the campaign ones. They're a lot cooler. They're definitely unique compared to some of the other reticles in this game. So I'm excited to get into those. I hope you guys are as well. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. And thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Good job, CDP. Do it again and let's go home.